This semester on the Church307 Podcast, we're just going to meet some people, some real life people who have given their lives to Jesus Christ. So sit back and hear some great stories. I am sitting here with Casey Roberts, and today I asked him if he would kind of help us understand his story and what God has done in his life. Casey, how long have you been coming to New Life?
About a year and a half.
Year and a half. So you're pretty new here. Yeah. You got pretty involved pretty quickly. Yeah. Because I went from not knowing who you were. Somebody said your name one time. I'm like, I don't know who that is. To now it seems like you're involved everywhere, and so
try to be.
Yeah, glad to have you around.
Thank you.
Could you start by kind of telling us the short version of your story? Where are you from, and what's gone on in your life that got you to here in New Life?
Okay. Well, I'm all over the place. We grew up I was born in South Dakota, and we kind of just bounced around, moved from here to there, and grew up from a broken home. And my dad was a very abusive person, and family was just a mess. I think my brain has kind of fogged a few of the memories just because it was kind of a bad childhood. But if I remember right, he was an alcoholic, very abusive. And I don't remember at what age, but parents got divorced, and we was kind of running from him because he was trying to follow us and see what we were doing, where we were at, and all this, trying to keep track of us. My mom didn't want nothing to do with him anymore, so we just kind of bounced around from here to there. And yeah.
So you talk about your schooling, your jobs. What all did you do after your childhood?
Well, let's see. My mom and my brothers and sisters wanted to move, and I was tired of moving. I was just like done with it. So we was living in Great Bend, Kansas, and I asked a friend of mine, I said, hey, you think your parents would allow me to live with you? Because I'm tired of moving. I've just done it too much, and I just want to stay here. And his parents agreed to let me stay there. And so I finished out school there, and then grew up, started in the oil field, met my wife, who I have now, Ashley. She's an amazing person. Found out she was pregnant and got married, and went straight to the oil field back in Kansas, started working, supporting the family and stuff like that. And I think a bit of my story is like, I didn't know what a father figure looked like because my father wasn't there for most of my life. So as I was evolving in my life with my wife and kids and stuff, and I didn't have that father figure around. So I was like, out partying, drinking with the guys and doing all these things. And it progressed pretty fast. It kind of started following the footsteps of my father, drinking a lot. Then the drugs came involved, and I became deeply addicted to drugs and started that whole mess and that lifestyle. And in and out of jobs, couldn't hold jobs. Because of the drinking and not showing up for work, all the things that come with that chaotic lifestyle. And fell deep into my addiction, and ended up just going down that path. And
what brought you to Gillette?
Well, I was in trouble back in Kansas, and I didn't really want to be there anymore. I was like running from my disease of addiction and just trying to get away from that whole lifestyle. And no matter wherever you go, there you are, But we decided to try to move up here where my mom was at and start a new life and just try to get away from all the bad things that was going on there. And came to Gillette. And like I said, fell back into the same patterns, drinking, started working oil field here, drinking all the time. And then came the drugs again. Just fell down that rabbit hole again.
Did you grow up going to church at all?
No, there was in my life that I think what I can remember of any kind of religion in my life, like my dad he put on this front like he was a believer and all this stuff. Like I don't ever remember really going to church ever, but like he told everybody we were Christians, we were this, we were that, and I knew of God. I've heard stories, this and that, but like I just never had the upbringing in that lifestyle, and it was pretty rough.
So what got you involved in church?
I wanted something different. I'd tried different things, tried recovery, tried doing it on my own. Never went to any treatments or nothing like that. It was, I don't know. It was just wanted something different. I was just like, I haven't tried that. And I've always got to see like the lifestyle that people were living, Christians. And I was like, man, they seem like they got it together. They got good things going for them. I wanted something that they had, and that brought me to the fact that I needed to try something different. And this was, I believe, my last option,
Mm-hmm. So you just walked in one Sunday?
Well, it came to a point where I was going to recovery meetings, and I met a guy there, and he was like, "Hey, I'm getting baptized at New Life. You should come check it out."
Cool.
And I was like, "Man, I've been into some churches, but it wasn't like this, like it was for other reasons and stuff." And I was like, "Man, I walk in that door, I'm probably going to burst in flames." That's just how I felt. And I was like, but I'll give it a shot. I was like, I'll go watch you, because I like seen this light in this guy's eyes and this guy's life that was happening. I was like, yeah, I'll definitely be there for you, So showed up one day, and it was just, I had my middle daughter with me, and I was just like, we got out the car, and she felt the same way I did. She's like, this aura or something, like it just felt like we were at home at peace, and like it was just an amazing feeling. So we went in and watched this guy get baptized and got to see some amazing things happen that day. So I was just like, this is awesome.
So that was like an epiphany day? It wasn't, it happened just quickly. You were bought in
like that.
Immediately.
I just wanted it. Like it was just the peace, the happiness. Like there was just these things that I had never had in my life. I just never had that kind of life. It was just, all.
Was there a moment at which you realized it's about more than just participation in church? It's actually a relationship with God. Did you kind of have that? Like when would you say that it actually became a relationship with God?
Man, I don't know. It just after coming for a while, I just like seen that it was like I got to see that how he was working in people's lives, and like it was like you just can't come to church and expect everything to happen. Like you have to have that constant contact and that relationship, and it was just surrendering was huge on that part of it. It was like giving, and that was hard for me, like giving my life over to something that I've never had any kind of belief in my entire life. Was like, okay. And the things that he was like doing in my life was just like, okay, I see you, like I can see what you're doing in my life. And it was like praying every day and just like saying thank you, for just everything he was doing. It was just an amazing,
very cool
thing.
What does the journey towards sobriety look like? Was that a immediate, you just stopped cold turkey and you never turn back, or has that been a more rocky road?
It's been a rocky road ever since shoot. I would say since I was probably 11 years old. I tried drinking. Well, I think I started smoking cigarettes, and then it was just like the alcohol, and try this and then pot, and just it progressed. And then I think after all the trauma that I'd went through in my life, like my father had threatened to kill us one Christmas Eve, and that was just like, that pushed me so far away from God at a young age. I was just like, didn't want nothing to do with God. And then like the drugs came when I was like 11, started using slowly more and more. And it just like, there was a void there, and it just filled that void. And it had just like, there's been some times where I'd been off the drugs and alcohol for a little bit because I was on probation or something, got a DUI or whatever, you know, so I got in trouble and had a little bit of sobriety here and there. But like for the most part, it's been a continuous battle up until about 3 years ago. Yeah, it's been rough. What got me, I don't know, like that was like probably one of my first signs that I'd really seen like God was working in my life. Like I wanted to quit using, but I just couldn't stop. It was just using against my own will. And I don't know, I guess I needed to go to jail. Like I needed to go to jail to get that little bit of sobriety to clean my act up and see what was going on. So got in trouble with the law and ended up in jail. And yeah.
It was a wake up call.
It was definitely a wake up call, but it was like, I think I was like already 3 days sober that day. Like it was like, God, like you have to do this to get to here, you know, you're going to have to go through this to get to that. And I didn't want to do it, you know, but like it was out of my hands. It was in his hands at that moment. So
talk about the difference between today, being sober and the life before. What's better about this life than that life?
Everything. Everything. There's nothing that I wouldn't give up this life for anything to do with that life, but I don't regret that life because it's got me here. Like I had to go through all that to get here. But this life is just, it has taught me to, love. I don't think there was much love in my heart before I got sober and my sobriety and finding Jesus. Like there was none of that. I didn't have, like I said, after the things my father done to us and the things that happened, like there was like just no love in my heart. And today, like there wasn't any purpose either. There's like no purpose in my life. I have purpose today. You know, I get to come here, help out, be a volunteer and help out here. And I get to be available to other people like everywhere. And they see what my life looks like today. And I get to go out in the community and be a light for those people. So it's awesome.
That's so good, man. Yeah. Talk to us about where you're involved and where you're serving and how you're involved in the church.
Right now, I just volunteer as a greeter because I feel like that's where I need to, like those fears I have. Cause, I'm not a very sociable person, never have been. Most of my addiction, I was secluded, you know? And so I'm taking those first steps and just volunteering at the greeting, just helping people get to see people and, introduce myself and be available to those people, you know? I just try to do what I can here, wherever God needs me, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Are you in a life group? I
am in a life group. I'm in a couple life groups. Well, I finished one of the life groups just a few months back. We finished that life group. That was a recovery life group deal that got started and finished that one. But me and my wife, we do, was it the mid 30s or whatever life group with some people. And it's an awesome life group. I love the people that are in there. They've been an amazing support group for me.
Can you talk about the recovery life group that you were in? What was that like? What were the relationships that you built in that?
I met a lot of amazing people in there. And it was just I'd never heard of it before. It was like a Celebrate Recovery type deal thing. And I'd never heard of it really, you know, until I started that life group. And it was for people with addictions, and it wasn't just the drugs because people have other addictions, you know? So it was cool to go in there and see that there's other people struggling just like me. And, to know that there's hope, that we're all broken and that there's help out there. And, that life group, it was like a year-long process going through. He had these books we went through and did some studies and, just went through some things that you need to do to, I guess, get that burden, release that burden you carry with you most of your life. So it was good. Yeah.
Is there a person that has been most influential to you in your spiritual growth and your spiritual development?
I wouldn't say there's one person. There's been many people, like Jode in the life group. He was very, very helpful. And my boss I have now, he's probably one person I look up to a lot with my spiritual growth. Like I want to be a lot like him. He's just a loving person. He pours out his heart to so many people and just tries to help people when they're struggling. And it's just like, I want that. I want that. I don't know. I just want to see people. I want people to have what I have today. And it's just like, the only way to do that is by like planting that seed and helping people get through their struggles and just, hey, like this is what God's doing in my life, you know.
What do you do for a living?
I work for a restoration company. It's kind of sad sometimes, but it's awesome. We get to go and help those that are, you know, your house catches fire, floods, and those are just horrible times for people.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go through something like that. So we get to go in there and love those people and just know that that's what we're there for. We're not there to get rich. We're not there to like make anybody wealthy. You know, it's just there to love on you and help you get through these things. I enjoy it.
It's so cool to hear you say that somebody who has been most influential in your life in spiritual growth is your boss at work. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be a pastor or a life group leader or somebody, like even bring it into your work life that somebody can have that kind of impact. Mm-hmm. Is your boss doing that intentionally, or is that just happens to be who he is?
That's just who he is as a person. He is an awesome Christian person. He's just so loving. I don't know. And that's just something I strive for, like to be a lot like him, to be that loving. Like I said, I'd never had much of that in my life, you know, with my father being gone and stuff. So, to feel that, I want to give that, you know. I don't know. It's different today. It's a different feeling. It's a different lifestyle that I want to live today. It's amazing.
Is it awkward if he's that overtly Christian at work? Is that making it awkward for everybody who's not a Christian at work?
Well, we don't have anybody that works for us that is not a Christian.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a unique situation.
Yeah, it is. And I think he searches out those people that are like still fresh in their faith and just grabs a hold of them because he sees that the seed's planted and he just wants to like help them grow in their spiritual journey. And that's what he does, man. He just, like I said, we have all Christians. They all go to church here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time since you decided that you were going to follow God that you doubted it, that you wondered, I wonder if this is true. I wonder if this is real. Did you have any big questions about God?
Not since I've been coming to church and following God. And I haven't doubted anything that he's been doing in my life. Just, I mean, in my past life, yes, I most definitely did. I doubted any kind of God. I don't know, like what kind of God does this to me? What kind of God does that to me? You know, if there was a God, like why is he letting this happen and that happen? And, but today, no, I don't doubt anything at all because he is just time after time just reveals himself to me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You said earlier that you saw Christians and they had something that you wanted. Can you say a little bit more about what was it that you recognized in their lives that was appealing to you?
Once again, it's just probably that love, the happiness, the joy, the peace. There was just so much like that I had never had. I didn't get to grow up in a family where we would just tell each other we love each other every day. You know, it was just a broken home, and I didn't have any of that. And I just seen that, and I was just like, man, what kind of life would that be like? You know what I'm saying? Like that would be just awesome to have at least a couple of those things, not even all of them, just a couple. And I'm sure the rest would fall into place. But yeah, I just wanted what they had, and the smiles. Like I didn't smile. I didn't like, I don't know. I didn't like to. I was that people told me that I would probably die a grumpy old man just because I was like that my whole life, just unloved, and I guess probably thought I was unlovable too. You know, just after all the things that I've gone through, I was just like, yeah. But yeah, I just wanted the happiness, I guess.
Can you talk about the impact that how your life changing? What's the impact that has had on your family?
I don't know. It's awesome. The family, I don't even know. Like they just, like coming up here and doing this with you today, my wife was just like happy. Like I get to do these things today. They're just ecstatic. They've never had their father, and they finally have their father. I don't know.
Very cool.
They love it. They love to have their dad around. I'm available. We go do stuff. It's not like walking on eggshells. I heard them say that a lot before, when I was actively in my addiction. It was just walking on eggshells a lot. And today it's not. I guess they got their dad. So
yeah, praise the Lord. Is there anything that you would say God has taught you that you feel like if people knew this or people understood this, is there a message that God has given you that you just really want to share with people?
I would probably say that no matter what you're going through, or no matter what you have gone through, you are worthy of God's love. Like there's just no doubt about that in my mind. Like I said, the things I went through and the things I've done in my active addiction, like I never thought I'd be able to be forgiven and loved the way I am today. And it just continuously shows up a lot that I am loved, and, no matter what, he'll be there for you. I remember going to a recovery meeting once, and someone had once said that there's going to be a time that someone does not pick up that phone call, when you're struggling or whatever. You call somebody to get some help or get through something. There's going to be a time where that phone call doesn't get answered, and you're going to need somebody to talk to. And it was like, you got to have God. You got to have God. So just know that you're worth it.
Yep. Yeah. People will fail you, but God is always there for you.
Yes. Yep. 100%.
Dude, I'm so pumped that you walked through the door that Sunday and have gotten involved at the church. Thanks for stepping up and taking ownership and allowing God to change you. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
Because God wants to, he wants to do for everybody what he's done for you.
Yeah.
And we all, maybe some of our addictions aren't as blatantly obvious, or some of us, our struggles aren't as obvious, but God wants to lead us all through that healing process, but it requires us to say, yes, I want to be changed. I'm willing to be changed. And you did that. So that's why you're here. And that's why God's doing what he's doing in your life.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you.
Yep.